Welcome back. U.S. Agricultural Secretary Brooke Rollins says President Trump will soon announce details of, quote, payments to farmers hurt by low crop prices and trade disputes. The administration expected to roll out a farm bailout totaling upwards of $15 billion. But the 43-day federal shutdown, the government shutdown, delayed the timing on it. Joining me now is Iowa Congresswoman Ashley Hinson. Congresswoman, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And I know recently you introduced this Fertilizer Research Act to deliver transparency of costs for American farmers. Tell us about that, and what are you expecting from the administration for farmers?
Yeah, well, good morning, Maria. Look, the farmers have struggled after 4 years of America Last agriculture policy, so it's nice to see a president that is really prioritizing Iowa farmers and producers again. And we do have some struggles in the ag economy. We've seen that fertilizer prices have been super high. Input prices across the board have been high. This president has focused on getting those fuel prices down. All consumers are going to benefit from that as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday next week, focused on fuel affordability. So the next thing is understanding that food does not just come from the grocery store. It grows in fields like those in Iowa and around the country. So I'm pleased to hear that the administration acknowledges the struggles that our farmers are facing and will be focused on this bridge, right? We need this bridge, these payments to go out to our folks so they can continue to operate and feed and fuel the world. But we need to focus on those trade deals. And I know the president's team is obviously zeroed in on that with China specifically, but other people around the world as well. And then we need to focus on Congress's role here, which is the deregulatory side, as well as domestic markets. So things like E15, which are consumer choice, driving that domestic demand. So all of those things will work together to help support our agriculture economy.
Yeah, you mentioned China. The president just did a deal with China, and we're wondering if they're keeping up their part of the bargain. Have they started buying the soybeans?
Well, there was an initial buy a few weeks ago, but again, this is about the follow through and making sure that they are adhering to their end of the deal. That's something that I think this president is keenly focused on, and certainly we are in Congress as well. In my role on the China Select Committee, I am focused on trade enforcement, duty enforcement. We need to make sure the DOJ has the tools that they need to go after these bad actors. We know in the American manufacturing sector, separate of ag, that they use tactics like transnational shipment to get around our laws and our tariffs. So we need to make sure we do the trade deals, but we also need to make sure that the accountability is there on the other side.
Yeah, trust but verify, right? I mean, look, there's so many issues here. The Financial Times is reporting about this new White House memo, which alleges Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba is supporting Beijing's military in cyber operations targeting the U.S. The document alleges that Alibaba has provided the People's Liberation Army with access to customer data and shared information on critical software vulnerabilities. There's also an Axios report this morning which says that the White House is telling lawmakers to keep AI chips export restrictions out of the annual NDAA, the National Defense Policy Bill. I'm going to be speaking with Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick about all of it on Monday. But, Congressman, what do you want to say about this? You're leading a bipartisan push urging Commerce to investigate CCP-linked security cameras. Tell us what you're looking at with regard to China right now.
Yeah, so the CCP, as we know, is totally ruthless, and they want to undermine the United States at every opportunity. They are our biggest competitor, and so whether it's Alibaba and the apps that are on our phone, I mean, I'm a mom to teenagers. I'm concerned about what they're putting on their phones, whether it's, TikTok or Alibaba or Temu or whatever these apps are. But I think it's very alarming when we look at the intrusions into our homes. Every American deserves to feel safe in their home, and now we've received word, and I've led a bipartisan letter to the Commerce Secretary to talk about TP-Link, because if you have one of these routers in your homes, they're Wi-Fi cameras, they're baby monitors, things that we might rely on every single day as Americans. But now the CCP has found another way to infiltrate our homes and, of course, diminish our safe and secure feelings in our homes. So that's what we're really focused on, is trying to make sure we're protecting our people, we're protecting our military, because the CCP, again, will stop at nothing to get access to that information and spy on Americans.
Well, part of the problem, Ashley, is the fact that nobody does surveillance better than China. Right? I mean, I've spoken with so many technology companies that have told me we need this special lens, and the only people who make it are in China. Why can't we bone up to get better at surveillance so that we're not reliant on these Chinese cameras? Because you're right. You go to an American, alarm company, ADT and others, they use Chinese cameras. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if individuals know that when they're putting their alarm system in, the cameras may very well be be Chinese cameras. Are they using that to spy on ordinary Americans? And the other ones who do it well is Korea. They also have very good surveillance technology. Why can't the U.S. get there to have our own specialty in that? And what about those cameras from China?
Yeah. Well, and I think, Maria, this comes down to we have ceded this manufacturing to these countries over decades, right, of policy. So they have, again, this comes down to the undermining. They do that with the trade, the lack of trade enforcement. But this is also about reinvigorating domestic manufacturing. And that's exactly what President Trump and Congress has been focused on. The tax bill, the working families tax cuts that we passed, give these companies certainty to do the R&D that they need to do to make sure we can be competitive on the global stage. But again, we need to be reshoring that technology, that industry, and those jobs here in the United States. This is a national security issue. Clearly, when these routers are being found on our military bases, that puts our national security at risk. And then just from my perspective as a mom, I think about, watching baby monitor. That's a very intimate moment with you and your baby at home. And to think that the Chinese could be spying on your morning routine or what's going on with your family, it is certainly very, very concerning.
Why? Why are they spying on moms?
Yeah, it comes down to they just want to know what Americans are up to so that they can continue to undermine our way of life, our value system. It's all about the competitive nature, right? They understand us better than they, you talk about that surveillance state. It's alive and well in China. They want that here as well.
So why would President Trump not want restrictions on exports in the NDAA? Is that what he's saying, that he doesn't? Is he telling you and your colleagues not to put it in the NDAA?
Yep. I haven't heard that directly, but what I think we need to focus on is, again, where is our vulnerability for national exports? What do we need to be concerned about getting in their hands, and especially in volume, right? And that's, I think, the biggest concern with our NDAA policy. Again, my focus on the China Select Committee is where are the vulnerabilities? Where is the supply chain problem? How do we fix it? How do we get it back to here to the United States? And so I think that is going to be a major topic of conversation coming out of not only these trade deal discussions, but also about after we get done with the NDAA this year.
And by the way, is that your big priority and sort of the one thing left for year end, the NDAA, or is there another big priority aside from that?
Yeah. Well, so I'm on the Appropriations Committee, Maria. So our big focus is hopefully getting some more movement and making sure the government stays funded, because I think you talk about, some of the reports that are coming out that are a little delayed. We want to make sure we get that information out as quickly as possible. The government needs to be open to have those conversations and get those deals done. So that's my number 1, 2, and 3 priority is making sure we get that done and supporting the president.
Are you worried, real quick, we got to jump, but are you worried that Democrats are going to try to shut government down again January 30th if they don't get Obamacare subsidies in place?
Yeah. Well, I certainly hope they don't play that game again. We saw the damage that did to our air traffic controllers, TSA agents, SNAP recipients. So hopefully they decided that they learned their lesson and they're willing to come to the table. And we are working together. We're working on policy right now. So hopefully we can get a good deal done and fund the government at the same time.
All right, Congresswoman, good to see you this morning. Thank you. Ashley Hinson on Capitol Hill. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.